All right, y'all. Good day. Good day. Come on in. Come on in here. Come on in here. Come on in here. Okay. Because the award goes to this bimbo right here, y'all. The bimbo award goes to this bimbo right here. Now, y'all remember her. A few months ago, she went on her little page, her TikTok, AOC, and was saying, hey, to all my illegals and stuff like that, y'all need to call friction with ICE. You have a right to do this, do that. So if you cause friction, you can slow down, the process of them doing this and doing that, talking, y'all. So this is, we fact checking right now. This was her a few months ago. So I want to play this because what I'm about to play next, y'all, word around the streets is she's begging, trying to see like, is they coming for her, the investigation and all that. Because, after all of this, they did say they was coming for her. So now she begging and trying to find out. Yes, bimbo, that's what you get. That's what you get. So I want y'all, for all my people who don't be knowing how to research, this is coming straight from her on TikTok at AOC. All right. This is what she said a few months ago. Check it out.
Principle number 1 in what you can do is that when one of these things comes to your backyard, you can resist. And what that happens over millions of people is that you generate enough friction that they cannot go as fast as they want to go. Okay. So I'm going to give you some examples that have already been working. Let's start with immigration and ICE. When people say, what can we do? In my community, we are a heavily immigrant community. ICE raids deeply affect and disrupt our community. So, number 1, if you live in a community,
number 1, y'all, she said it,
a lot of immigrants, know your rights. That's one tangible thing you can do that I want you to do. And that means know your rights if you are a US citizen as well. Okay? Here's one way that we're going to create some friction in this system. Tom Homan, who's directing a lot of these ICE operations nationally, etc., he went on TV practically crying. This dude was whining his ass off because ICE went into the city of Chicago and Chicago had prepared for them. Community organizers, activists, and their mayor and local elected officials who were solid on this
which who is now in trouble too, which is who's now in trouble too. Okay, let's get it right.
Issue. They educated the city on their legal rights. Because what ICE tries to do is that they rely on people not knowing their rights in order to enter buildings, in order to search workplaces, etc. So when you know your rights, you are able to tell them no, and they do walk away. What you can do is protect people around you and also make sure that you are slowing down this system. The slower they operate, the less they can break.
Okay, so y'all see that. Y'all see this coming from her mouth a few months ago. Slowing down the process. All this other type of stuff. First of all, they have no rights because they broke the rights when they came over here illegally. Let's just make sure that's clear. Okay, and the ones who have been trying to hide them, they already came from those states. So I just wanted y'all to show y'all this because now we finna dive in here. All right, and this is coming straight from Paralegal Institution of Washington, D.C.'s page. AOC terrified begs DOJ to reveal investigation into her helping migrants. Okay, so now she questioning y'all. So let's get into it. Let's see what she got to say.
Holman was upset, I suppose, because he felt that you were giving advice to people who were here illegally. Were you?
I was giving advice to all of my constituents. Yeah.
He said he was going to report you, or even that he did reach out to the Department of Justice. Have you heard from the Department of Justice?
And we are back, y'all. Thank you for watching today. Go ahead and hit that like button, people. You know it helps us out a million, and it only costs you not even one, not even half of one. So do that for your boy. Certainly appreciate it. It helps me out. And of course, it helps you because it helps us. It helps us keep bringing you this content. Now, y'all, we're going to follow up on, if you remember, there was a spat between AOC, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, and Hallman, who is the new immigration border czar. And AOC was on I think it was a YouTube live, and she was giving out some advice to people on how to avoid detection, people who are in the country without permission. She's telling them how to avoid detection by the federal government who might want to deport them. And Holman did not like that. He actually said he was going to talk to the Department of Justice about that to try to find out if AOC's actions are even legal. So let's play a quick clip where AOC is going to comment on this, and then we are going to get into a letter that AOC wrote to the Department of Justice to try to determine if they have her under investigation.
You had a recent dispute, if that's the right word, with Tom Homan, the president's Homeland Security czar, so-called. You held an online forum, a Know Your Rights forum, that he didn't like. What were you doing? What was your goal as you saw it?
My job is to educate and act as a liaison of critical information to my constituents. And I was informing all of my constituents of their constitutional protections, and in particular, their constitutional protections against illegal search and seizure in the United States.
Holman was upset, I suppose, because he felt that you were giving advice to people who were here illegally. Were you?
I was giving advice to all of my constituents. Yeah.
He said he was going to report you, or even that he did reach out to the Department of Justice. Have you heard from the Department of Justice?
I have not, and I intend on reaching out to the department.
So real quick, y'all, you see what she said? She was trying to say, yes, she gave advice. If we just watch that clip on her TikTok, she gave advice to illegals, and she said U.S. citizens that are here that need that type of advice. So yes, she did. That's why I'm glad I showed that clip of her saying exactly what she said and then showing this, because I'm telling you, they like to flip and try to lie.
Of Justice to inquire.
Really? What would your question be for the Department of Justice?
Well, there is a member of the Trump administration who is threatening and seeks to open an inquiry. And are you going to do it?
What would you learn? What do you hope to learn from that exchange?
I think it's important to know where this administration stands and if they intend on using political intimidation to silence their critics.
Oh, my God.
So now let's take a look at this news reporting.
Hold on. That's what they do, y'all. They try to flip to try to silence their critics. Y'all have been trying to silence us for years. Being censored, you have to watch what we say. Please do not try to flip the script on them when y'all been doing it. When y'all have been doing it for years. Y'all hear that? That pisses me off. That's the type of ish I'm talking about right there. That's what they do.
We're going to take a look at the letter that AOC wrote. So the report says AOC asks Pam Bondi, so this is the head prosecutor at the DOJ. AOC asks Pam Bondi if the DOJ is investigating her for telling illegal immigrants how to avoid ICE. Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez asked U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi on Thursday whether the Department of Justice is investigating her office for teaching illegal immigrants how to avoid the Trump administration's mass deportations earlier this month. AOC's congressional office and Lawyers with Immigrant Defense Project also held a, quote, Know Your Rights with ICE, quote, webinar 2 weeks ago, educating illegal immigrants at risk of deportation about their rights and how U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement gathers information and enforces immigration laws. Now, she wrote a letter, y'all. Let's just skip over to the letter. So that's what you see on the thumbnail there. It is, now I want y'all to look at this letter. This is from AOC's office. She calls Pam Bondi the Honorable Pam Bondi. And if you notice at the bottom, she CCs the Honorable Donald J. Trump. Isn't that interesting? Never thought I would see AOC referring to Donald Trump as honorable, but there you have it. Dear Attorney General Bondi, I write to request clarity on whether the Department of Justice has yielded to political pressure and attempts to weaponize the agency against elected officials whose speech they disagree with. Over the past 2 weeks, quote, border czar, quote, Tom Homan has gone on multiple forums threatening political persecution against me, citing resources I distributed informing my constituents and the American public of their constitutional and legal rights. On February 13, 2025, Mr. Holman announced that he had asked the Deputy Attorney General to open an investigation and that I will be, quote, in trouble now, quote. It has been 14 days since Mr. Holman first threatened to weaponize your agency, but I have not yet heard any referral from the federal government. Holman's actions undercut core constitutional rights, and further transparency is necessary. I am sure you are aware of the First Amendment of the United States Constitution.
Oh, now they want to use that.
Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech or of the press, or the right of the people peaceably to assemble and to petition the government for a redress of grievances. Indeed, last week, Vice President Vance said that, quote, we may disagree with your views, but we will fight to defend your right to offer it in the public square.
Oh,
quote,
my God.
Mr. Holman's repeated attempts to use your agency to politically intimidate duly elected officials are a textbook threat to the right of freedom of speech in the United States. Threatening criminal proceedings for exercising the First Amendment is itself a violation of the First Amendment. Educating the public about their rights, especially in a time of rising uncertainty, is a key part of our responsibility as elected officials. A government that uses threats of DOJ investigations to suppress free speech is a threat to all, regardless of political ideology. Please respond no later than March 5th, 2025, with an update on the Department of Justice's response to Mr. Holman's request and transparency as to whether my office or myself is actively under investigation for exercising their First Amendment rights and executing on our congressional responsibilities. Signed, AOC.
Let me just get into that. Y'all see how she's stressing First Amendment, freedom of speech, all this type of stuff that they would not allow other people to have. She stressed it a lot in here. It's funny, huh? It is funny now that she's happening to use this. Now she wanting to use this. Now she wants to use this, y'all. Huh. They're funny.
There y'all have it. Now we're going to shoot into another clip from this same NPR interview, which gives a little bit more context. Let me know what y'all think about this. Do you think that AOC is just exercising her First Amendment rights? Or is she teaching people how to break the law and how to get away with it? Is teaching people how to break the law and get away with it as an elected official, does that fall under the First Amendment? What do you think? Okay, I want to hear what y'all have to say. Y'all, I really appreciate y'all watching this. Please do like, please do comment. And before you do anything else, stop right now, hit the share button, put in a text message of somebody, text number, WhatsApp, email address, something. Just share this video out. I want to hear what they have to say as well. We're going to flow right into another clip from this NPR interview. So let me know what y'all think. Let's get into it.
To what extent is immigration as an issue part of your problem with working class voters?
I mean, I guess my question would be what does the word problem mean?
People voting for the other side and not for you.
Yeah.
Feeling that Democrats are not serious about the issue in ways that concern them.
I think that we have a problem on immigration because of the lack of progress that we've had on this issue. And as we know, Republicans weaponized that lack of progress. Of course, there was famously a bipartisan bill last year that the Republican majority in the Senate and also in the House were willing to pass. President Biden was willing to work with them on it. And Donald Trump said, do not solve this problem. As long as it is broken, then it will be politically beneficial for us. And so it is a problem not just for Democrats. It's a problem for the entire country that
Lord.
Republicans do not want to solve any sort of issue with immigration. They are completely uninterested in addressing undocumented people, in addressing a path to citizenship.
Well, they do want to address undocumented people by removing them. I mean, that's what the
Do y'all hear the lies? This is what I'm talking about. Do y'all hear the lies? Not to mention, I got to state this, that Trump was the one in his term saying the wall needed to be built and he wanted all borders closed. And he did not have, they would not support the resources for this man to do what he needed to do. Did y'all just hear her clearly lie and say the Republicans and Trump and him didn't want this to move forward and stuff like, come on, man. For real. This is what I'm telling y'all. This is fake. And we know this because the ones who really actually research know that is not what they were wanting to do. Why the hell are they taking their time now to clean this ish up? They been screaming, close the borders and stuff like that. See, that's what I be talking about, man. She's crazy. Crazy. What she done drunk? Okay. What kind of drink she done had before this interview? Let's get into it.
the president is attempting now.
Even then, you see what Republicans did with the Lake and Riley Act recently in their passage with it, in that they authorized the complete gutting of due process. So now you can take a DACA recipient, a dreamer, just accuse them of a crime.
And deport them.
And however, they also understand that they don't even have the infrastructure to do that. So they're actually creating.
Do not let this, see, this is, and I'm glad I'm showing this because you can see how quickly they like to flip things. Now, if y'all haven't watched the Lake and Riley Act and know what it stands for, then go research it, go pull it up because it's there. I hate when they do this. This is a prime example of what they do and they flip it. This is what I'm showing y'all, what she's saying and doing right now. For the real ones in the back who actually research and know what the hell is going on, you know. And this is how the ones get confused by taking what she's saying and they run with this fake news. She's considered fake news right now.
Not just, it's not even about creating a deportation pipeline. They are creating a private prison camp pipeline. So they're still creating pipelines to just increase this problem here in the United States.
Why do you think this issue did seem to be a political loser for Democrats among key groups and key constituencies, if what you say is true?
I think that a lack of a path to citizenship in the United States, the lack of addressing comprehensive immigration reform creates a large population of undocumented people in the United States. And that is allowed to be weaponized in many ways. We have a large population of undocumented people in the United States. Overwhelmingly, it is not because they crossed the southern border of the United States. It's because they came here in a documented fashion and overstayed a visa and became undocumented. And it is the lack of ability for us to expand paths to citizenship, modernize paths to citizenship over decades that create this bubbling issue that we're allowed that.
Now we know good darn well, yes, some of them have overstayed their visa. But you're supposed to get that update. You're supposed to do what you got to do with that. But we know good darn well that border was open under the Biden administration and Harris administration. And them folks was crossing left to right, y'all. Y'all see the videos. They are out there. That borders were open freely. So majority of them came over here illegal, undocumented. Okay. Now that's facts. Go search. Go look that up. I'm not going to sit here and let her lie because that's what she doing.
Are allowed to weaponize.
And you have voters in places like Arizona, which is a swing state that Democrats lost, or Colorado, which is generally a blue state, saying there's a lot of chaos, there's a lot of lawlessness.
Yes.
I don't know what to do here. Who's looking out after me?
And I think when that is paired with divestment from the social safety net, when that is paired with lack of progress on minimum wage, when that is paired with rising costs of living, it sets the stage for a strong man to point to any marginalized group and say it's their fault, instead of looking at the gross income inequality that we have and its actual causes in the United States. And so that, I think, is the quandary that Republicans find themselves in, because even on the debate stage, you had Vice President Vance and others trying to say that undocumented people are why we have a housing crisis in this country. And they can fulfill their entire agenda.
Facts are rolling out, y'all. Facts are definitely rolling out with Doge. Shout out to Doge, Elon Musk, y'all, for finding where all this government spending been going, because it's definitely be what's going on housing these folks. Meanwhile, our people are homeless out on the street. So yes, go look that up. Y'all want to figure it out, find it out, go research. I'm telling you.
You will never deport your way into more affordable rent. You're never going to deport your way into being able to make your mortgage meet or make your groceries more affordable. In fact, mass deportations may only make those things much more expensive, actually. And in my view, people voted to lower their groceries. People voted to try to make their lives affordable. And right now, the Trump administration is already running into roadblocks into fulfilling that promise, and they are in trouble. And that's an issue they're going to have to contend with.
Y'all, thank God it's over with, because I cannot. Do y'all see how you see how she flipped it in so many freaking ways? Like, I was waiting for the bimbo to shut up, because I was like, at this point, I am sick of it. I'm sick of her. Please investigate and get her and make her held accountable, because she was telling, in other words, corruption, telling them folks to slow down the system by not abiding by the rules, which they haven't done to begin with when they came up over here. As y'all can see how she tried to flip everything, and I had to stop and say, hey, I've researched this, I followed this, you're lying. Hey, this right here ain't true. This right here, just like she's talking about inflation and all this other type of stuff, it's going to take some time to get that down, but it's going to get down. But don't sit here and blame it on them when you know it was the whole Biden administration. Like, all that was, they got to come in and clean up the mess that administration has left for them to clean up. So please just miss us with all of that, you bimbo. Pam Bonnie, Zark, y'all please come and get her. Investigate her tail. Make her pay for her actions. I'm all for it. She gets on my nerves. It's like she has to be relevant, y'all. Like, she has to be. It's like, God, they just pop up out of nowhere. Nancy Pelosi. Please, everybody that was part of the last administration, sit down somewhere. Just sit down somewhere and shut up, because I'm sick of every last one of y'all. I'm sick of every last one of y'all. Y'all chop it up in the comment section. Let me know what y'all thoughts are, okay? Until the next reaction, y'all, let's talk. She just made my blood pressure go up. I'm up out of here.